What's up, guys? Back with another Smite Meta update. This one's a little late, but it also... a lot of things happened. I graduated, had to move back home, all that kind of stuff. But let's just get into it. Enough about me. We're going to do this as we usually do, go from dual lane all the way to solo lane. With the Masters lane coming up, we had a pretty big insight into what the pros think were good, as well as just confirming what we already knew was good. Jingwei is easily the best hunter in the game right now. The build really favors her, and it does her very well. You build something along the lines of this, and you get crit, and then you build into Silver Branch, Deathbringer, that kind of stuff. Right? And aside from Jingwei, you probably want to look at Ho Yi as well. Ho Yi's pretty strong. He's anti-crit inherently, and he does very, very well in ranked games. You can aggress on him, you can get some good triple bounces, and you could just out-trade people. Those are kind of your big two. Charybdis is still pretty decent. Hachiman is very good. Ullr is still very strong, and so is Chiron, but they go the more ability-based build. And yeah, that's really it for the dual lane right now. It's kind of... these two are kind of the best ones, Jingwei and Ho Yi, especially for ranked. Hachiman, Ullr, Chiron, and Charybdis are kind of follow-ups. Chernobog is also very strong. I almost forgot about him. Chernobog feels really, really good right now. Definitely look at that. With all the health changes and everything, Hunters also weren't hit, so their damage is about the same, but it's also more inherently because of kin size, and also because they just have the big damage right now. And there's not very good defense. There's not that many good defensive items. For supports, Atlas was comp banned, but you could still abuse him in ranked. He's still very strong right now. There is a bug where if you grab somebody with Atlas 2, sometimes if you pick them up and like carry them, they can beads and they won't be picked up. There's a clip of it that I actually clipped and I made public because I was like, this is kind of ridiculous that this happened, because it did cost one of the SCC teams the game, because their colleague got grabbed. She tried to beads and it didn't work. I'm going to link it in the description, and it will show you. But you can still abuse this guy in ranked. Atlas is very strong. Geb looked pretty decent as well. He's a good counter to Nox and a lot of the heavy CC characters that have been picked. Athena made a bit of a show at Masters, although I do think she's pretty strong in ranked as well, just because she has those global rotations and she could pressure wherever she wants. Aries is always going to be a good pick in ranked. If you're good with him, you should definitely play him a bunch, because you can kind of just carry games from the support role with Aries. He does so much damage and he's just super strong. Ymir, similarly, if you're good with him, you can kind of just carry games. You can place your walls well and whatnot. Same with Umoja. Umoja is a very similar thing. Horus is still pretty decent. And Eset and Nox are still very good. Nox has ridiculous CC. She's super annoying to kill. And Eset is similar. That's really it. Moving on to mid laners. Stay in the Mage tab. Just kidding, I'm going to the Hunter tab. Ullr and Chiron looked very, very strong this weekend, and they're still very, very powerful and ranked. They kind of can blow somebody up very, very quickly and feel very good, just in general. Amuzen is similar, although he's a bit more susceptible to ganks and whatnot. Susano, Kleena, both looking very strong in mid lane right now as well, just because they can abuse the squishier mages and hunters that are being played in the mid lane and kind of just run them down and kill them. Inferior a little bit to that is like the Bastet, Camazotz, Tsukuyomi set. Like, those characters are still very strong in the mid lane because they're assassins that can poke the hell out of mid laners, but they're still a little bit behind the likes of Kleena and Susano, who can kind of just blow them up. In terms of mages, Thoth is still very strong. He can get picked on very easily by junglers and by mid lane assassins, but he's still very good in the late game. Hebo is similarly can get picked on by junglers, but he's still very good in the late game and he can explode people. I've been seeing a bit of a rise in Baba Yaga. Now, If you're looking to win the early game, do not pick Baba Yaga. Baba Yaga is a late game powerhouse. If games are going to go super late, and you want them to go super late and you don't mind that, definitely put Baba Yaga into your mid lane god pool. She is powerful. Her damage is ridiculous. Home Sweet Home is a very good ability. In that, she just does so much damage in the late game. I'm going to be honest, she explodes people once she gets in late game. You can even double stack on her because of her passive. Their Baba's Brew is just... This character's bonkers, to be honest. She's nuts. So if you're looking to go late game, definitely pick her up. Junglers. Similarly, Daji is still very strong in ranked, so is Kleena. But Kleena's a little less so. She's a super powerhouse in solo lane. Honestly, I just permaban the character. She's just so ridiculous. I hate playing against her. Bakasura is doing pretty well in the jungle right now. A lot of auto attackers are doing very well. Nemesis, Bakasura, Kali. Those characters can kind of just run games if they get a lead. And the auto attack items are very, very strong right now, so I'd definitely look to pick those up if I was trying to grind as a jungler. You just can kind of get away with so much in those auto attack builds, especially because Kins is so strong and those auto attack items are so strong. I would definitely sway towards that way. If you're looking for somebody in a more magical, Alquang is okay. He's not great, but he's okay. Poseidon does okay. Hebo does okay, but I would definitely stick to the ones I recommended before. Daji, Kali, Nemesis, Bakasura are kind of your big ones you want to pick up. Obviously, you could play pretty much anybody right now, and you could even play Naja now because the frames bug is gone. They removed it. But you can abuse a lot of characters right now. And there was some... Pele. Pele recently got a buff, and she feels powerful in the jungle right now. I would definitely look to experiment with her a bit. We haven't really seen her that much in ranked, but I want to... Once I see her a bit more, I can confirm this theory. I think she's powerful, and she can run games. She isn't an auto-attack jungler, but she's certainly strong. Soul Lane. Baron Samedi made a show this weekend. He made a show with a Bumba's Dagger and then normal defense build. You go Bumba's Dagger, Warlock Sash, and then just went all defense. He would go into Bumba's Hammer, and he runs stuff. Baron feels super oppressive in the late game. In the early game, he's still kind of a bully character after the first few levels. He can get early kills if you can abuse the mistakes of your opponents. And he's just overall very, very powerful right now. I would definitely look to pick him up if you're a soul laner trying to grind. A lot of people were concerned that warriors weren't going to be very good. They're okay. It's not as bad as people thought it was going to be. But if you are going to play a warrior, I would look towards... Osiris feels very oppressive right now. You can run a Death's Toll or a Bumba's build. And people have been picking up Golden Blade on these auto attackers. Because Golden Blade is just super, super powerful. They've been doing the same thing in the jungle. They just feel very, very oppressive. The lane clear is crazy. And Osiris does it very, very well. Because he could just clear waves so quickly. And then just poke the hell out of you with his abilities. And force you into a tower. Amaterasu also runs the Golden Blade thing. It's pretty decent on her. Hercules also has been doing pretty decently. There's been a new build that's been going around. This was done by Lemestics at the LAN, and honestly, I feel it's way undervalued. You build in this order, and then you sell your Blackthorn for your Spirit Robe, and you just don't die. It takes so long to kill you, and you have such good CC, you have decent damage, you have healing, you live for so long. And lastly, Assassins. Kleena is still nuts. If Kleena's open, you should be picking her as a soul laner. She's just bonkers. They nerfed her, in quotes, again, but she's still ridiculous. This character's stupid, and needs to be nerfed again for her to even be remotely balanced. Her damage numbers are way too high. Her safety is still ridiculous after level 5. She doesn't have to interact with anybody if she doesn't want to. Right? It's crazy. Soul Leader's still incredibly good. She's nuts. And where are they? Bakasura is still a decent pick when you want to do the kind of cheese, run away with the Golden Blade, grab, steal camps, and get a lead through that way, which is good. And the only problem with it is that he doesn't have a very good matchup into Baron. And he can kind of get abused because of that. And Kleena also kind of just marks him. But other than that, he's a pretty decent matchup. Osiris isn't great either, the top ones, but he can abuse other solo laners pretty well. He even has a decent matchup into Bellona. It's not great by any means, but he doesn't hard lose it. Camazotz is still very powerful as well. He's got a ton of healing, tons of sustain, tons of damage. Bat out of Hell is a stupid ability and it's broken. Scene. Lastly, I do want to talk about one little niche pick. Haddix has been running it a lot, but Poseidon has actually felt very powerful in solo lane. He can get away with a lot. His speed is very high. You could build warlocks and kind of just run away and just do a ton of damage. Haddix likes doing a Lono's Mask build, which it's okay. I don't really like it, but he's proven that it's done very well, and a lot of people are picking up on the Poseidon solo. So you might want to check him out and see what he's doing and see if you think it's the playstyle that you want to do. Other than that, that's it. Peace.